Hello, this is Hope Rosky with Business, Arts, and Events. Well, have some of you thought about renting a property? If you have, look no further. Today I am so pleased to have with me Barbara Godfrey and Trinity Scruggs. So they are here with RPMF, and that's Realty Property Management Fresno. And they have wonderful properties here in the Valley that they're renting. And there is a protocol and procedure, as we know, when it comes to renting properties. So Barbara, can you tell us a little bit about, what people have to have in line if they're coming in and starting, especially for the first time in a rental property?
Looking to rent a house?
Yes, renting,
Sure.
yes.
The company is Real Property Management Platinum. We're
Okay.
a franchise, actually, and we have everything's online, but the people, they'll come looking at our homes where I have them listed. They're available to see lots of different schedule options as well as online, and they need to have, their income needs to be usually 3 times what the rent is. We're looking at a credit score is above a certain range to be just really minimizing risk and feeling that they will take care of the property and be responsible. And they're also going to do a background check and ask for some documents such as your ID, bank statements, pay stubs, things to show that. We'll talk to your current, where you live, the landlord, look for a reference, and verify employment.
So how long have you been with Real Property Management?
I've been there like 14 years now, which is
Wow.
amazing to even think back. It's like, it's been a fun ride. Every day is different.
And what changes have you seen in the industry over the years?
Oh my. Markets are always fluctuating and doing things, but with what we're doing as like investment managers for owners' portfolios, that really has ridden every market, no matter if it's up or down or boom or bust. But legislatively, things have changed over the years on things that the state requires us to do, or making more prevalent in changes like emotional support animals, for example, or smoking policies, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. It's nice to meet you today, Trinity.
Thank you.
I know that there's some wonderful properties that you brought, and it's so interesting. We're talking about some of the names of them. I just love them. Would you like to start us off with the first one, please?
Yep, I'll go ahead. We have 4704 North Barkus. That is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,530 square feet, beautiful home. It opens up to a beautiful dining room through the kitchen and a living space. This is west of Highway 99. The cross streets are Polk and Shaw. It does have an attached 2-car garage. The backyard is all concrete. You could have patio furniture out there, invite some people over. You do have the beautiful green grass out in the front yard. This property is available now. It's going for $2,250. How much I got for that?
Okay, well that sounds, I mean, and I'm looking at the pictures and it looks like it's so well kept. And,
Yes.
And that's one of the things too, when you talk about renting a property and the maintenance and what a renter has to do to take care of it, it's not just, okay, you've got all the paperwork, but what do you expect from somebody who's looking to rent?
Yeah. So when they're a resident in the house, we really need to rely on them informing us if there's a leak, if something breaks or it's in disrepair. We need to have that brought to our clients' awareness to say, hey, this is going to be a problem in the future, because we're trying to protect the investment. If it was a leak or something broken, that might cause problems and grow to be a bigger problem in the future. If the rain gutters were full and clogged, that's going to cause roof damage and other things that are going to get even more expensive to the owner. So we're trying to help them budget and prepare and spend money in the right ways to protect the house.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of which, you have another house that you'd
do.
like to show us. Tell us about
This
that
one is
please.
really lovely. It's in the Madera area. It's at the Tesoro Viejo community. And it's actually like an award-winning community. It's got a huge center section where they have a swimming pool, coffee house, all those fun community things that go with it. And there's a lot of big developments out there. And this house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's listed Actually, it's a 2.5 bath. $23.95 is the price, and it's on Patty Road in Madera. So it's just off the 41.
Now, so that's a two-story home, correct?
Correct. All the bedrooms are upstairs. on that
Okay,
one.
all right, that's great. And, you know, it's important for people, especially if they're looking on your website, and if you could tell the viewers about that in just a bit, that they can look at the interior, just kind of get a feel if that's something that would fit them, and especially with a place like Teresa Viejo, what are the amenities? What does that community offer?
Right.
So,
All of each HOA, homeowners association, is different, you know, from spot to spot. Some are gated communities, some will have a gym and a clubhouse, and some will or won't have a swimming pool. It can be, and some will have like private security even. They're just a wide range of amenities depending on which community it is. But to your question about, so our website is the rpmfresno.com, and you can click search rentals, and you can hit a button to see a map to kind of see the grids of the community and decide which area you're looking for and kind of drill into that, as well as photos, more details about if the house has a policy about pets, if it meets your needs. But yeah,
Right.
the photos are really important because you want to see, we want you to like where you live.
and that's one of the things you just talked about is the pet situation, and some people have an emotional support pet. So Trinity, can you address that and how that works with people who do have that type of pet?
Pretty much how it works is you are able, to bring your ESA pet with you to any property that you apply to. There's really not much more to say to that. Whether the property allows pets or not, you're able to bring your ESA pet with you.
And does the person who's going to be the prospective renter have to provide you with documentation?
They do. Most, if not all of our renters, when they do put in an application, they have to go through a pet screening, whether they have a pet or not.
That's good. That's very good to know.
It tracks the information nicely.
Yes.
You provide what they need, and then everybody's on the same page.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I know you have another property. I love the name of this particular property coming up. Tell
It's
us a
very
little bit
lofty.
about that. Yes.
Yes, the street name is Integrity, if that's just not over the top
Yeah.
for you.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah. Cross streets on this, it's DeWolf and Barstow area in Clovis. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, also a 2-story home, and it's listed at $21.95. Same thing, all the bedrooms are upstairs on this property. It does have a community swimming pool, and it's available for showing like 7 days a week.
Wow. Okay, and let's talk a little bit about that too, Trinity, is with showings. With people's busy schedules, do people book online? Do they call you? How does that work with scheduling?
It goes both ways. I'm usually out showing properties. I'm sure people call the office every day to get some showings scheduled, but I do tell people to go online. They're able to go on a Show Mojo link. They have all the dates and the times that are available. And since we're on Integrity, that's actually a self-showing property. So they're able to schedule a showing for that property at any time of the day, especially when the showing agents are busy. They're able to see Integrity at any time, which is very good. It helps people see properties more often. But yes, people can go online, schedule showings. I think that's great, just so they can choose, what's a good time that's good for them, instead of us having to squeeze in things for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me address this too, is when people are renting a property, typically one looks at a year lease. Are there ever any times that people do a short-term lease? Are some of your properties either furnished or unfurnished?
That's a great question. It's very rare. Currently, we don't have any homes that are furnished. We don't do short-term. Those are less than 30 days or even less than 6 months. It's almost a different type of setup entirely. So
Okay.
ours, we do start out at a year, and then if they needed a month-to-month after that, on the renewal time, that's when we would consider and talk about what the options were.
And one of the things too, Trinity, that I wanted to address is many times we talked about HOAs. Is that included in the rent typically, or is that something that's expected from the individual that's renting? What about with water bills and things to that effect? What can a renter expect on top of the rent?
Yeah, so it really depends too on the property. all renters will be paying the PG&E and utilities. Some properties have a monthly solar usage payment. Some properties have a true-up bill that they will need to pay. So it does depend on the
So
usage.
that's utilities, but tell about
Yes.
HOA fees.
Oh, HOA fees.
Right.
I want to say that that's covered by the owner.
Right, okay.
HOA is included. Yeah, tenants don't have to worry about that HOA fee.
They don't pay that.
Yeah.
That's good to know, because that's one last thing. You know, the HOAs are very important, and that's so nice to have the swimming pools or the
Yes.
gate or things to that effect, and know that that is definitely going to be covered by the owner and not the tenant. What advice would you give then, Barbara, to people who are coming, you know, even if they're repetitive renters, what is the leeway? Because just like in anything else, people realize, oh my goodness, my lease is up, or oh my goodness, I need to be out by a certain time. How long should somebody prepare to start looking for a property?
That's easily, I would say, 30 days if you can. And
Okay.
sometimes circumstances might cause you to be more in a pinch for time. But really with the 30 days, the houses that we're offering are available now. And if you said, oh, but I want to move in June, right now that we're in January, that house will be gone by the time you're ready to have it. And then the next ones would be, we'll take the house and say in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we would expect that they would be moving in. So they put in the application. It takes about 4 to 5 days to get everything taken care of as far as the background checks, the credit reports, and then we would get them approved. They say, hey, I want to move in anytime between now and the next 28, 29 days, and we put it on the calendar. They pay the holding deposit, and then everything just moves then to signing the lease and getting ready to arrange your movers and get ready. All that work that goes into moving.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. And you are so knowledgeable, both of you, on the protocol and procedures that people need to do prior to going to visit a property, and making sure, just like if somebody were to buy a home, you need to have all your ducks in a row, as they say, and all of that paperwork, because it's no different. If somebody is, let's say, retired, or they are, quote, self-employed, what are some other options that people can then use to show that they are making what they need to make?
Well, we would ask for the bank account. They'll give us like a documentation of their retirement benefit, if it's on a pension, or they're getting a disability payment or something. There's lots of ways to show it. Self-employed people would give us last year's tax filing showing,
I see. Good.
showing their income. Yeah.
That's great. Well, then there are a lot of options for people
Exactly.
who are not showing that weekly.
Not a traditional way.
Exactly, exactly. And that's good for people to know. And the one thing about renting is that you're not necessarily having to make that long-term, like 20-year commitment per se, that it offers that sense of flexibility,
Yes.
which is great. Is there any other further advice you could give to anybody who's looking to rent at this point, Trinity?
Pretty much, come prepared. Like she said, have all your ducks in a row. We are super excited and eager to get tenants in our properties. Our company, in my opinion, we market great properties for people in Fresno. That's my advice to
Yeah.
people.
And what about you, Barbara?
I would say the variety is all across the board and all across town, Fresno, Clovis, a little bit in Madera, and a little bit in Sanger. So really, if you don't see what you like right now, come back and look in a couple weeks. The new ones become available as other ones are rented. So there's a lot of inventory.
Well, I thank you so much. You're both so knowledgeable about this. Real Property Management of Fresno. Look them up. What is the best way, again, for them to reach you, Barbara?
So the website is probably the best. All the information's there. And then that 9400 number is the office.
That sounds great. Well, I appreciate you both coming on to the show today. Trinity and Barbara, thank you
Pleasure.
so much. Folks, if you're looking to rent, and I can totally understand how this goes. This is a great company, great people there to answer your questions. Real Property Management. This is Hope Rosky with Business, Arts, and Events.